the new Home Office Secretary will deploy a team of over 1,000 staff. One of the major questions I get asked in the last couple of weeks since the Labour government have got into power is what are their plans on making some changes on the immigration policies, especially for immigrants here in the UK. Now, the answer to the question is pretty straightforward. At the moment, the Labour government, they're actually not making any major changes to some of the immigration policies already implemented by the Conservative Party. So it means that things around dependent visas, student visas, to mention a few, all of those visa categories are not being, there's no changes on those policies on them at the moment. However, the major focus on the current government is really around stopping small boats. Now, most of the policies they've been making, and even just 2 days ago, the new Home Office Secretary made an announcement on how they're planning to tackle, the small boats bringing people illegally into the UK. So the major focus of the Labour government at the moment is really focused on illegal immigration. Why for illegal immigration, there's really no major change happening at the moment. So one of the things based on the news released about 2 days ago, the Home Office is planning to tackle smugglers bringing in people on small boats into the UK, and yeah, they're actually trying to start doing some raid. And based on the news, the Home Office Secretary said they're going to be, releasing about 1,000 employee to make sure they raid, nail shops, car wash to stop people who have been working illegally without papers. And the major idea is to stop, it's just to try to stop employers who are giving illegal immigrants jobs, which is a way of fueling the smugglers because they have the promises that if you come in illegally with us, we're going to find a job for you. So they're trying to stop that part of people getting a job, so people wouldn't be able to come into the UK illegally. Anyway, so let's listen to the news released 2 days ago on how they're planning to raid some of these locations to stop people who are coming into the UK illegally.
It's become a well-established and distressing pattern. Summertime and the boat crossings surge. This summer has also brought a new government. First on their agenda was scrapping the threat of deporting migrants to Rwanda. But how to deter those willing to make this dangerous and sometimes deadly journey? The Home Secretary is promising more raids on businesses who employ people who don't have the right to work here, singling out car washers and the beauty sector as targets. Many salon owners support clamping down on competitors who don't follow the law.
Sadly, apart from the modern slavery we know that's happening all around us, it's a massive impact on small businesses because they tend to undercut pricing. They're cash-only salons, and they don't do a very good job. And a lot of the time, it's salons like mine that are clearing up the mess, and then also you have to deal with the customers saying, well, why are you so expensive?
In recent years, immigration enforcement has been ramping up efforts to detain people working here illegally. There were over 6,700 raids between spring 2023 and 2024, almost 60% up on the previous 12 months, and almost 80% up on figures at the start of 2022. The Home Secretary says those employing migrants without a right to work here fuel the trade of illegal gangs. But campaigners are concerned about the focus on raids.
Rather than focusing on protection and safeguarding, they've gone into this enforcement and, trying to be tough on so-called illegal migration. What we would really like them to focus in on is think about more regularisation routes, so people who are in that really precarious situation, how they can move out of those situations.
Taking Rwanda off the table, the Prime Minister has promised a new team of officers to combat people smuggling gangs. But thousands of people are still arriving in small boats. The government has pledged to remove more of those who make it here. But as their predecessors found, this is a promise that can prove very hard to keep.
I've been listening to some of the actions the government is planning to take to reduce small boats getting into the UK and find a way to reduce illegal migration in the United Kingdom. The Home Office is launching a summer blitz of illegal immigration raids targeting workers in dodgy car washes and nail bars. So these are the two locations they're looking at targeting to make sure that those who are here illegally are being apprehended and processed quickly and deported if necessary. The new Home Office Secretary will deploy a team of over 1,000 staff of operations and keep tab on what field asylum seekers are doing. So, for those who have been able to go through the asylum process and they don't get granted asylum, many of them have been able to get jobs in dodgy car wash, in nail bars. So, they're planning to raid all of those locations to make sure that those people who have failed asylum have been apprehended and possibly deported. Now, they say they will be targeting immigrants from countries like Vietnam, who are now the largest group of crossing the channel illegally, but unlikely to be given asylum. Now, work to fast track decisions so failed asylum seekers are deported back to their home country quicker is also underway. So to be honest, I think the UK government is really spending quite an amount of money on this asylum process. To be fair, some of them takes a couple of months before they get a decision whether going to get asylum or not. And during this period of waiting, the government is funding, they are feeding, funding their, where they will live, paying, millions and billions of pounds on hotel bill just to keep these asylum seekers, um, you know, comfortable while they await their papers to be processed, probably making a decision whether it's a failed asylum or it's not a failed one. It's really a lot of money being spent by the government. I think it's one of the major reasons why the Brits are really unhappy with the last um, party in power. Now, the Home Secretary says the raid will crack down on illegal immigration and smash the criminal gangs profiting from the cruel trade. Now, writing in today's the Sun on Sunday, the Home Secretary says we cannot pretend everything is okay. And, they also says that not when criminal gangs are making millions out of dangerous small boat crossing that undermine our border security and put lives at risk. Raids will focus on businesses known to use illegal immigrants operating in the black market, like car washes, nail bars, and beauty salons. So yeah, that's really going to be the target. And since the beginning of 2024, based on statistics, it says that over 15,500 people have moved into the UK through the small boats, and it's a major concern for them because it undermines the border security. And yeah, they're actually making so much efforts to tackle illegal immigration. So at the moment, as I said earlier, legal immigration, there's really no major changes by the Labour government. Things are still the way they are. However, the focus at the moment is majorly around those who are here in the UK legally. Now, let's listen to what the Home Secretary has to say again. She said, we have directed immigration enforcement to intensify their operation over the summer with a focus on employers who are fueling the trade of criminal gangs by exploiting and facilitating illegal working here in the UK, including in car washes and in beauty sector. And we are drawing up a new plans for fast track decisions and to um, and returns for safe countries. So yeah, that's really the plan basically to make sure this is done quickly and effectively. Obviously, now most people in these countries want to see a proper controlled and managed asylum system where Britain does its bit to help those fleeing conflict and persecution, but where those who have no right to be in the country are swiftly removed. Tackling the small boats crisis and illegal immigration is one of the biggest challenge of the new Labour government. And to be honest, if you listen to the manifesto during the election period, and this is one of the major things that the Labour government or the Labour Party were actually using against the Conservative Party who were in power at that time. They were, saying how ineffective their the Conservative Party's approach is to reducing the small boats, how they, try to talk down on the whole Rwanda process, how it is not, effective against human rights and all of that. So it's actually interesting to see that the Labour government is also trying to implement a counter action to, what the Conservative Party did, and hoping that what they are planning to do would be more effective compared to what the Conservative Party were trying to do. So yeah, hopefully let's see how this help in cracking down illegal immigration into the UK. Now, if you if you follow the news in the last couple of weeks, Keir Starmer, the new UK Prime Minister, through an European summit at the Blair Palace earlier this week, where he vowed to lead an international crackdown. Now, the Prime Minister said he would look at processing migrants before they got to Britain, and this process is known as offshoring. So they're looking at making sure that before they even get into Britain, they get processed. I listened to the Foreign Secretary a couple of days ago, and he was talking about, the plan of the government to help, some of these EU countries where people are fleeing from into the UK, probably help them with some funds to make sure that people are even getting a good job and wouldn't have any reason to want to, run or come into the United Kingdom. So yeah, let's see how that plans out. Anyways, so now he also wants to look to strike new return deals with other countries, but he has come in for every criticism for scrapping the Rwanda scheme, which Tory says is the only deterrent that would put migrants off making treasures crossing across the channel. And later this week, the Home Secretary will lay out hugely controversial plan of allowing 90,000 illegal immigrants the opportunity to claim asylum. About 60,000 are expected to be granted this asylum. Yeah, so these are some of the things they are actually focusing on at the moment, which is really majorly around illegal immigration. So for legal immigrants, there's really no major updates at the moment, and we're hoping to hear something soon on what the government is planning for legal immigrants. So yeah, that's it about that. I hope you find this video resourceful. If you do, click on the like button. If you have any question, please put it in the comment section. And if you're coming across my channel for the first time, do well to hit on the subscribe button to join the amazing growing family. And my returning subscribers, thank you guys for being here. I really do appreciate you guys. So this will be the end of this video, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you.